Hello and welcome to this video. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you my story and how I was able to go from being unemployed to running a 5-figure per month online business in 12 months. Now, the reason why I'm sharing this story is for two reasons. The first reason is to show you that whatever it is your goals are, to be an entrepreneur, to make money financially, to get out of the 9 to 5, it is very, very possible if you can apply yourself. And number two, I want to share the frameworks and what I used, the techniques and the strategies that I used to get me the success, so that you can actually implement that and use that for your own self to get whatever it is, the outcome you're looking for. So during at the beginning of the pandemic, I had a paid job. I was a recruiter, a professional recruiter. So I would help connect companies to talents that they were looking for in different areas of their company. I typically focused on commercial accounting. So this would be financial accountant. So that was a job I was doing, and at that time my wife was pregnant, but then the pandemic hit, and then there was no need for my services because companies were not recruiting, so there was no need for my company at the time to keep paying me. So unfortunately for me, I lost that job, and to make matters worse, my wife was pregnant at the time, so she was not going to be taking mat leave, which meant that there would be no income from her because she's a dietitian, and I did not have that support financially. So everything was down to me. My backs were against the wall, and I had to figure out how to provide for my family. And that's when I went into my mode of, okay, how can I solve this problem? What can I do to make this happen? And that's how I came across the strategies and the ways that I've now used to build my 5-figure per month online business. So the first thing I did was to actually identify the high value skill that I had. And Naval Ravikant called this skill specific knowledge. So specific knowledge is valuable knowledge that is specific to you, your condition, your situation. And typically specific knowledge is not something you learn in school. It's not something that you get graded on. Specific knowledge is something that you learn based on your passion, based on your interest, and something that you're tinkering on or just exploring on whether you're getting paid for it or not. And for me, my specific knowledge and what made me very, very unique was that I had a computer science degree. So I come from a technical background in computer science, but I also loved marketing, and I really had grown and ran some businesses in the past before, but I really was very, very interested in marketing. And a combination of my ability to understand things from a technical standpoint, like coding and software, and combining that with marketing really was specific knowledge for me. And that really gave me an edge and an advantage. Now, the second part, after you identify your specific knowledge, and by the way, if you want to identify your specific knowledge, what are things that you would naturally be doing even if you're not getting paid for it? What are things that naturally interest you? And if you can't figure that out, go find a mentor who is doing something that you actually enjoy doing or that you think is really cool and nice, and go learn from them. And that will help you really gain specific knowledge, or at least point you in the right direction of what specific knowledge you need to go after to try and get. But once you've understand and really identified your specific knowledge, what makes you unique, and things that comes naturally to you, comes naturally easy to you, then the next step is how can you combine that specific knowledge with an existing problem so you can build a compelling offer. So it's very crucial that you're able to turn your specific knowledge into solving real problems for people, because at the end of the day, no one cares about your specific knowledge if it can't solve a problem for you. At least they won't care enough to pay you for that specific knowledge. And that was the next thing I did. So the way to do this is, number one, you need to go do some investigation, find out what are the problems people are having in the marketplace. And there are two tools you can use to do that. The first one is answerthepublic.com. AnswerThePublic.com is basically a platform where if you put in a keyword, it will spin out different questions people are having about that specific keyword. So for example, if you put in marketing or copywriting or cybersecurity, whatever it is, it would find all the questions that people on the web are asking about that keyword, which gives you an indication about how much of a problem people might have around that specific keyword, which helps you understand how to build an offer. The second tool that I recommend is also another one called Google Trends. So Google Trends actually allows you to see the keyword volume, search volume for any of those keywords. So how many people are actually searching for that solution? Is it 1 million people? Is it 500,000 people? What countries? And that really helps you to then understand, okay, this is how the problem people are having. This is how they're talking about the problem, and this is how many people are searching for that problem. Now, once you put that together, the next thing then is you want to do some experimentation to test your hypothesis about this problem. And the way to do that is using your social media platform and creating a post. And in the post, you basically want to create something, a free offer. You want to say something like, hey, let's say, for example, you were trying to offer services for marketing. For example, for me, I offered a lead generation service. And basically what I then did was, based on my knowledge at the time, I compiled a free PDF of my best marketing strategies and ideas. And I created a post online, and I said, I'm going to be sharing this free ebook, this free resource to you with all of my knowledge. Raise up your hand. It's free for you. You don't need to sign up or anything like that. Just say yes if you're interested in getting this ebook. And what that does is, anyone who raises up their hands and says, you know what, I'm actually interested in getting this free ebook, anyone who raises up their hand actually becomes a potential lead. But more importantly, that person becomes proof that there is an interest in the marketplace for your offer. So that is exactly what I did, and what I recommend you do. Create what I call an offer domination post that gives away something for free, some value, some information based on your knowledge, based on the specific knowledge that you have. And if people raise up their hands, you know you have something in the market. If it's crickets and no one is interested, then you have to go back to the drawing board and revise and redo your investigation process. By the way, you don't want to do any work until you've gotten the proof from the market that there is an interest. Now, once you've gotten the proof in the market, the next step is then to execute and actually reach out to those people, give them the free ebook, give them the free resource, and then ask them, how can I further help you in your journey to help you solve the problem? And that is where you can then find ways to actually offer a paid service to them based on the trust that you've built with them with the free resource you've given to them. Now, the last step of this process is really, you want to then leverage technology to scale the outcome and to scale the amount of impact you can have. And how do you do that? Well, Naval Ravikant, the business philosopher, talks about 4 levers of leverage. It talks about labor, which is hiring people. It talks about capital, which is raising money. It talks about code, which is software. And it talks about media, so social media as we know it. Now, these are the 4 levers of leverage. The first 2, labor and capital, are what they call permission leverage, which means you need someone's permission to be able to use them. You need someone to choose to give you money. You need someone to choose to want to work for you and being able to afford them. Now, those 2 levers of leverage are typically out of reach for a lot of people. So the second 2 levers of leverage are what he calls non-permission leverage, which means you don't need anyone's permission to use code, to use software, to use online tools available. And of course, you don't need anyone's permission to use social media as well, to use media. So whether it's TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, you don't need anyone's permission. You can start creating content and attracting your ideal clients. So if you're just starting out, I would recommend focusing on that last 2 levers of leverage, code and media. What can you do to start creating content to connect with your ideal prospect on those social media platforms, and then use technology to scale your efforts, scale the amount of people you can help? So here's how I did that in my own business. The first thing I did was I started to create content. The second thing I did also was to combine LinkedIn automation with technology. So basically what that meant was I used LinkedIn as my source of my ideal prospect. I use LinkedIn Sales Navigator. By the way, if you want information about more of these things, I created previous videos on my channel, so go back and watch some of these videos where I actually walk step by step on how to do LinkedIn automation and how to use LinkedIn as a place to find your ideal prospect for your offer. So basically the way LinkedIn automation works is this: you use LinkedIn Sales Navigator, which contains over 850 million people on LinkedIn. You use that platform to find and identify your ideal prospects, and then you use an automation software to begin conversations with those people, not to pitch them, but to begin conversations. And then once they responded, then you then organically go back and forth in asking them about their problems, or building rapport first, asking them about their problems, and then offering your solution as a potential alternative to whatever else they're looking for. And then of course getting into a sales call so you can close them to become customers. And that's exactly what I did. And I was able to find success doing that. And I was able to offer that solution to other entrepreneurs who had a problem with lead generation. So for me, I was able to connect my unique, my specific knowledge to the problem of lead generation and marketing because I was just finding out that everyone was talking about how do I find leads without paying for ads, because ad costs were just going up and up, especially at the beginning of the pandemic. And I was able to find a way to connect LinkedIn automation to this problem and brought my solution to the marketplace, which people really love. And then I used technology. So I use a bunch of automation. And again, I've shared videos explaining how these automations work to then be able to scale the amount of clients I can help and work with. And then based on the money I generated from doing that, I was then able to go back to the permissioned leverage point, which is I was able to then hire people, employees, to help me manage my clients, so I can take myself away from the day-to-day operations in the business and focus more on high-level revenue generating activities. So that's the story of myself, how I went from zero unemployed to becoming someone who has a thriving and growing 5-figure a month online business. Now, at the time I'm speaking to you right now, my business does around $30,000 per month. Now, by the time you're watching this video, I'm hoping, and the goal is that my business will be even way higher to, at 100,000 plus per month business, which is the goal of what we're gunning for. So if I can do it, I'm an average guy, I'm nothing special. If I can do it, you can do it as well. And if you're interested in learning more about, ways for you to find and leverage opportunities to grow yourself and generate financial freedom, independence for yourself using online businesses, subscribe to this channel. I share lots of ideas, strategies, tactics, and framework that can take you from wherever you are to your goal. And if you enjoyed this video, smash that like button, subscribe, share with your friends and people in your network or someone else who you think could use this information, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. See you soon.